What's up, y'all? So today we're gonna do pick a card about what will your child be like, whether that be your next child or your first child. It's gonna be, different for everyone, but let's see. I'm gonna pull 3 cards for 3 piles. So for pile 1, we're gonna have the 10 of Wands. Right there. Pile 2. Okay, interesting energy so far. Pile 2, we have 5 of Swords. If you hear little tweets, just ignore that. It's little chickies. Let me fix this. Okay, that works. Let's get a pile 3. I'm not doing full house. So how's that look? Alright, so we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Take your time, choose your pile. I'm gonna choose a pile 2. Okay, we're gonna start with pile 1. Let's see, I'm gonna roll the Astro dice so we can see a little bit more about this. Let's see what energy I get off the bat. Obviously with 10 of Wands, I have to say we're getting, fire sign energy off the bat. Wow, I just realized we have a fire pile, a wind pile, and a water pile. But, let's see. I don't want to speak too soon, so let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it moving. I'm gonna roll the Astro dice. Tell me about pile 1's child, Spirit guides. What will this child be like? Okay. Very stubborn. This is gonna be a very stubborn child, and I'm almost getting this vibe that like this is not the kind of child that you can rush to do something. Like they're very like grounded almost to a fault sometimes, to where they can be kind of stuck in place. But I mean, obviously too much of anything isn't good, but I feel like this isn't necessarily a bad trait that they have. Like it can serve them well sometimes, but other times they might need a little push. Even though they're the type to be very firm on the ground, not easily nudged or pushed. But I do think that they do need someone in their life to tell them sometimes, like, hey, like, maybe we should prioritize getting this done so that we can move on, rather than being a perfectionist and focusing on every little detail and it taking us forever, and then we end up, not getting what we need done. So yeah, very perfectionist I'm getting. We're getting Taurus and Pisces energy coming in too. So yeah, I'm getting that big Pisces, because like Pisces, as a Pisces Mars, sometimes it can be hard to get us like motivated. Okay, and oh my god, that's so stupid. It's not stupid, but literally Pisces, Mars, and the second house came out. And the way I have them set up is Mars, second house, Pisces. So I didn't even realize Pisces, Mars came out when I just said as a Pisces, Mars, but that's fine. But that's the vibe I'm getting from this child, and I relate. But we have to, Pisces, I can't speak for all Pisces, but I know for a fact Pisces and Mars individuals, we need to be deeply motivated by something on like a spiritual, emotional, psychic level to be motivated enough to get up and do things in the physical. We have to have a lot of non-physical ammunition to do something physical, and once we have like ammunition for something, it can be hard to deter us from that or take us off the course that we've already started, type of thing. Okay, I did a lot of talking, so let's pull some more cards. This it's just like getting very stubborn, but okay, let's get some more, because we get it, we're stubborn, they're stubborn, so moving on. Okay, so this child, I'm definitely getting this like guarded energy. Like this child refuses to let other people push them around. They are not the type of child that's like gets walked all over, or this child has strong boundaries. I feel it's giving Nine of Wands, even though that didn't come out. But I feel like almost they've had to do this. Like maybe in the beginning I was getting that, like, you know, people having to come in and tell them, or people often, not necessarily just having to, but people often trying to tell them, like, you know, you need to do this way, like you're taking too long to do this, like you should be here and you're there. But this child has a good head on their shoulders, and they can really make something out of nothing. Like really, like it's giving the Midas touch. Like if they're in a bad situation, they are good at getting themselves out of that situation and flipping their situation around. It's giving rags to riches, or like overcoming financial difficulty, things like that. And I'm almost getting this, like, it's like a wise, and with the Pisces, you know, Pisces is the oldest zodiac in the zodiacs. So it's definitely giving this very wise energy. Like this child's definitely been here before. They are, I imagine this child would be the type to give great financial advice, or just advice on the physical world and like getting things done. This child could be very motivated by like the physical world. They could really care about like the finer things in life and things like that. And I also feel like this child's gonna have a sharp tongue, like very sharp tongue. It might be something that they have to fine tune in their later years. Like they might have a very brash way about them when they're younger, and then later they kind of learn to fine tune that. So let's get some of this cute little cat tarot. Maybe I find when I do like future child readings of these, because I do them for myself all the time, this deck usually tells more about their childhood. It gives more like child energy, so a more innocent, you know, sweet, soft energy. So let's see, tell me more about part one's child spirit. Hopefully more about, you know, those younger years. should really make some like oracle cards for this topic, because Lord knows I really love this topic. You think I'd have Leo placement? Okay. Alright, that should be good. When it starts doing that, that's when you know it's ready. Alright. Tell me about Paul 1's child spirit. What's this child gonna be like? Oh Lord, no. One card at a time, please. Okay, your child could definitely, strong fire sign. And it's almost giving like Aries. There's this like combative, like ready to go to war energy about this child. But just to protect themselves. There's almost this feeling that this child constantly feels like people are out to get them, or trying to knock them down a peg, or like, yeah, like knock them down a peg. So I'm getting like people always trying to like grab them by the coattails and drag them down type of energy. I don't know if it's just, I don't know if they are in sports when they're younger, but there's just like this competitive drive with this Mars, Scorpio, Aries energy. And we have 5 of Pentacles again. So this child, they could at some point in their lives have to fight against poverty, or just, it doesn't have to be like literal homelessness, like out on the streets. It could just be not having the money that they want, not being able to do the things that they want, you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be like they can't even afford to put food in their stomachs, or like filter their water or stuff like that. I don't know, stuff like that. It could just be like they have to fight to be able to sit at tables they want to sit at. Like this child has this way about them where they're constantly on the up and up. Like they're constantly trying to achieve bigger, greater, better. Very Aries, Scorpio. This is a very intense child, but I like this energy a lot. You know, as Aries rising, I like this energy a lot. So yeah, with all this Mars, this could be a boy, but I am definitely getting this could just be a very masculine girl who's very driven and a go-getter. Goes out and gets what she wants, you know, type of gal. So lastly, I'm gonna just pull some of these supernatural tarot, because I feel like the characters in this deck have a lot of personality, so I feel like it'll be able to tell us about this child's personality some more. Maybe I should pull about your relationship, or maybe I should make a whole separate video on that. That way we could focus more in on the specific question. Alright. Let's close out this reading with any new messages you might give us, Spirit. Okay. Anything else about this child, Spirit? So, alright, not exactly what I was looking for from this deck, but you know, I'm sure this is coming through for a reason. So, yeah, okay. This child's definitely giving me kind of a loner energy. Like, I'm not getting a lot of friends around this child. As a matter of fact, they could deal with bullying or being left out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like, I'm not getting like a super quirky vibe from them. So it's not like, oh, like I'm not getting that Aquarius, like they don't fit in type of thing. They just seem more like of an introvert, kind of focused on their work, head in a book type. Clarifying this Four of Swords, Spirit. What are you trying to say? That's too much. What are you trying to say, Spirit? This Four of Swords. Nine of Swords. This child could have night terrors when they're younger. They could suffer from nightmares. Oh, okay. Look. With this Pisces Mars and this Nine of Swords and this Seven of Wands and this Five of Wands and this Four of Swords, this child could suffer, like I said, as a Pisces Mars. I have always suffered from this. And I know another Pisces Mars who's kind of suffered from similar, but nightmares, psychic attacks in their sleep, people who are jealous of them or even attracted to them, whether they love or hate them, people could show up in their dreams. They could struggle from nightmares, trouble sleeping. This child, I know it sounds like a lot of negative coming out, but they just have an intensity about them. This is their experience that they came on Earth to experience, and it's not a bad experience. They have some struggles with Ten of Wands as their card that, you know, that you picked for this. They're gonna have a lot of weight on their shoulders, but they have a strong head on their shoulders as well. So very headstrong child. If anyone can get through the situations that go on in their life, it is them. With this Two of Pentacles and the Six of Swords on top of these two Five of Pentacles, I really feel like they have this way about making what they want to happen so that they can move on to calmer waters. So like if they are in this situation, having these nightmares, dealing with these people, they have this survivalist in them that has a way. And then the Eight of Cups came out as well with the Five of Cups. Like, this child refuses to accept anything less than what they want in this life. They refuse to accept a reality where they don't deserve the things they've always wanted. And they refuse to rest until they are where they deem they should be. So you might need to kind of be there for this child with their perfectionist tendencies and kind of like teach them to relax. You're really going to have to teach this child how to self-care. Sit back, relax, rest your mind, you know, cool off, cool down. Let me see if anything else is coming out. Let me uncover all these cards. When this child is like a little bitty, they could be very energetic. But on the bright side, I think they'll kind of crash. Like, they'll be super hyper throughout the day, but when they nap, it's a full nap. Like, they don't just go to sleep for like 30 minutes, get up, run around, go to sleep for another 30 minutes. Like, no, they are going to play. They're going to play hard and then sleep hard is what I'm getting. When this child is a child, you could have to move for a job or relocate because of financial problems, or you might get like there might be a move when they're a child for monetary reasons. I don't know if that's a word. And lastly, I want to say this child is very like a perfectionist and very critical of themselves and their lives, but I don't get this kind of like soak in despair, depressing energy. It's more of like a analytical, solution oriented, driven, constant drive to do better kind of thing. Very Mars energy from this pile. So I'm gonna have to leave that there. That was really interesting. It all came together, like everything kind of like matched. There was nothing that kind of like flipped, you know. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. I hope it was interesting, entertaining in some level. Feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try to be more consistent. Yeah, if you liked my energy or whatever you might have liked, stick around. So yeah, moving on to pile 2 at 2222. Okay, hey guys, 2222 on the clock when we start the reading. But you chose pile 2 with the 5 of Swords. I also chose this pile, so let's see what comes out. Let's try not to be concerned by the 5 of Swords. You know, that can mean anything. That can mean anything. Ignore my dogs, please. So let's flip all these decks over so I don't get distracted by the last pile. Okay. These are all discombobulated. And so my fault. Okay. So first, I'm going to roll the dice. See what the dice combined with this card, what energy comes out. So we have a lot of water energy. Scorpio, 4th house, in Jupiter. 44 could be a significant number. It could be a sign that they send you 44. Also 222, which is funny because that's 4 and 4. 2222. Okay. Let's see. I don't know, I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak too soon. So let's pull some cards. Ancestors and spirit guides of pile 2. What will their child be like? Their next or first child? What will their child? I'm almost getting this like lucky energy from this child. This child could be very lucky. Like, I know my mom said whenever, when my sister was a baby, she had this luck, like, she would just get calls, and, like, I don't remember what exactly she said, but she would get, like, calls offering her money, like, saying she won, like, she would win things when it came to my sister. Like, my sister, she would let my sister guess, like, lottery numbers or something like that, and she'd win, like, that type of energy. I don't know if that's exactly what she said, I'm trying to remember, but that's kind of the energy I'm getting here. This child could be highly favored in the spiritual realm. Okay. Tell me about Pile 2's first child spirit. Very guarded. But, like, not in the same way as Pile 1. Pile 1 was more like a fierce tiger or lion, and this one's more just like a kitten backed in a corner. Kittens can hurt though. I don't know if you ever tried to depending on how, like, if they're itty bitty, just grab them things, but at a certain age, those things don't come to play. We have 6 of Swords. I think this child is going to be one that really hates drama. Like, they don't like arguing or you know, tension, fights, things like that. This is the type of child who will cry if the adults are fighting, or if adults are yelling, if they get yelled at. This is that type. Very innocent, sweet, soft energy coming through. We have 7 of Swords. This child could be, because they're so, like, innocent, they could, so yeah. This is kind of like the opposite of Pile 1 in the sense that they can have a tendency, this pile can get a tendency to be taken advantage of. This child could have a tendency of getting taken. Hold on, I cannot think. Oh my God. Sorry about that. So, but sorry I got all my face on there, but just because of that, like, Jasmine, she's my youngest dog, and that girl, oh my God, she tries my patience all the time. She just will whine for anything. And it's interesting that Jasmine made an entrance into this reading, because you could be thinking about naming your daughter Jasmine. Just gonna put that out there. But so yeah, you're gonna have to, like, kind of teach this child. Well, there's only so much you could teach them. A lot of things they're gonna have to learn through experience, but they're gonna have to learn that not everyone can be trusted, and they're gonna have to learn that not everyone is nice. Not everyone cares about how other people feel. Not everyone is like them. Like a nice, sweet, genuine, caring, loving person. Which we all have to have that realization at some point in life, but I feel like this child might have to face that lesson more intensely than most because of the type of personality that they have. They could have like a softer personality naturally, like to their core. So I feel like this could be like mama's boy, mama's girl kind of vibes. It's giving that kid that kind of like hides behind their mom's leg, or that type of energy. I think you should encourage this child to kind of like stand up and speak. Like, encourage them to speak to people, to strangers, and kind of encourage like your friends, like other relatives, other adults to conversate with them. Not baby talk, but like, you know, get down on their level, whether that be metaphorically or physically, and just talk to them and kind of teach them to use their voice. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe. They just need to be taught to kind of express themselves. But with the way we have this progression, 5, 6, and 7, I feel like this is going to be something that they progressively get better at. This could be a big childhood energy, because like I said with the last pile, the cat tarot gives me really younger childhood vibes. And for this pile, I ended up pulling the cat tarot first, so this child could have a significant experiences in childhood, or just like throughout their adult life. They could identify with their childhood a lot. And this could be a boy. With King of Cups coming out, this could be a water sign boy. A lot of water energy. Although we have 3 swords, so we're also getting a little bit of air. Interesting. With 4 of Pentacles on the back of the deck. This child, they could be like, this could be your first or only child. And if this is just your first child, then there could be like a space between this child and the next child. Because this is giving kind of like a loner, like almost like a fear of strangers, other people kind of vibe. Like they kind of, this is giving the vibe of that child who kind of like is just, you know, before school years of course, but always at home with they might have like a stay-at-home mom, or they might just only kind of be around the same 5 people or small group of people, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But eventually they're gonna have to, you know, get out in the world, and when that time comes, I feel like it's gonna be it's like learning how to use a sword for the first time, you know, like you're gonna get a few cuts and scrapes with anything that you're learning, you know. Like, and I'm looking at this while I say that, but you know, in this card, the little mermaids, they find a bunch of swords and then they start playing with them and trying to learn how to use them. And in this, you can see like all the ones in the back are like, you know, they're figuring it out too, but they have a little more of a handle, quite literally, physically more on the handle than this one right here, who hurt itself. And I feel like this kind of represents our child, since I picked this too, but this kind of represents the child, where they might have a little bit of a tougher time than the others. They might, you know, make a couple more mistakes. But there is nothing wrong with that, honey. Nothing at all. There is strength in this water the same way that there was strength in the fire of Pile 1. Like, Pile 1 had this like toughness, like hard as nails. Have a lot of respect for Pile 1. That child is pretty fucking cool. I didn't mean to curse, but that child's pretty cool. But this child is so sweet, and just, you just want to grab him by the cheeks and give him a big smooch kind of energy. Yeah, but I'm getting like, this might be, like I said, okay, so this is, I just got this. this child, this might be like their backstory. Like, they grew up a really soft kid and really sensitive and couldn't really navigate, you know, social settings very well, had a hard time mingling with their peers, intermingling, you know, kind of getting in where they fit in. And in that way, they're similar to Power 1, like trouble fitting in, but it's in a completely different way. I feel like when this child gets older, they're going to start to kind of get a tongue on them, like a little. They're gonna get better, and like I said, you know, teaching them to communicate. I feel like they're gonna get a lot with all this air and the way it goes: 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords, 7 of Swords. I feel like they're gonna progressively get better at communicating, and they might even get a sharp tongue. That's another way they're kind of similar to Paul 1. Paul 1 and Paul 2 almost seems like they'd be like friends. Like, you know how sometimes opposites can be friends? Because Paul 1 and Paul 2 are so opposite, but at the same time they have some similarities that I feel like they would bond over, oddly enough. So yeah, Paul 2, you might want to meet up with Paul 1 and get y'all kids together, because they might be good friends. But yeah, okay, let's get some more, because I feel like that was all I was getting from that. It was a good bit. Alright, now let's get some more. Tell me more about Pal 2's child spirit. What will their child be like? Excuse me. Excuse me again. That was so gross. I'm sorry. You ever get empty stomach burps? That's what I just got. But okay. What else about Paul 2's child spirit? What would that child be like? Very similar to Paul 1. You could have watched Paul 1 and Paul 2. Because we have 5 of Pentacles under 6 of Swords, and they literally had 6 of Swords over 5 of Pentacles, so but I don't know, I'm getting kind of a different vibe with this. Like, with this, I'm getting like this child at some point in their life almost seems like they have a fear of people. Like, I don't know if they met someone that really scared them, or someone in their life kind of, or maybe they just came out this way. I'm not sure. It could be that maybe, it could be anything. Like, I'm not saying it's your fault, but like maybe you kind of like raised this child to like stranger danger kind of thing. It could be as simple as that. Like, you taught this child stranger danger, and this child could have a very vivid imagination. So I feel like they could kind of get too scared of strangers sometimes, which it's hard to say if there's any such thing, but this child's gonna have to learn discernment. That's a big lesson in this life, is discernment. This child's gonna have to learn who's worth, who deserves their energy and who does not. This child could also be very, like, feel very connected to animals. They could mourn the loss of an animal in their childhood, or like they could take the death of an animal really hard at some point. We have another king of swords, so big boy energy for this pile. And with this king of swords under the seven of swords, and I was kind of getting this vibe earlier with this seven of swords, the way this cat is looking, because that's what I was talking about. Excuse me. How it was going from 5 of swords, 6 of swords to 7 of swords, and I felt like communicating is something he's going to get better at. And I'm almost like, oh my god, I just got this. So like with this cat, like, I know this is not what's going on in here, but this is giving me the vibe like this is your kid, and then like with the toy, like people would always like play with them, play with their emotions, play with their head, and like, you know, like how you play with the cat with the stick and you're like jingling around, and they just grab it. And I feel like your kid at some point is just gonna grab it. It's like, stop playing with me. I'm done playing these games. Like, that's the vibe I just got. And then with this king of swords underneath it, it's like they are really like, this might be something they struggle with when they're younger, but when they get older, girl, they are going in 44 again on the clock. 44 is a big number for this pal. But this communication that they struggled with when they were younger, they are going to be pros by the time they get older. They are going to completely get better at that. Tell me more about Pile 2's child spirit. No judgment. And 4 of Wands. This child, I feel like, will definitely start a family. I think they would, if this is a son, like, I'm getting strong boy for this pile. So, I mean, there's no way for you to know if I'm right or not. But if that's not resonating, you're like, I don't know, all my other readings always said a girl. Like, maybe choose another pile because, or this, maybe the gender aspect of this pile might not resonate for you, but the personality aspect will, if that's the case. But I'm getting this vibe of a boy, and I'm getting this vibe that this boy will start a family. And with this King of Cups, I feel like he will be a family man and a good father. So good job, Paul 2. With this 4 of Wands, I'm getting like, a lot of the struggling will be in their younger years, is what I'm getting. And I think they'll be very close with their mother. And I think they'll end up having a very profound partnership, like marriage. But the women in their life, I think, are very, 44 on the clock again when I said that, but the women in their life will be very significant to them. That's not to say the men won't. With this King of Cups and King of Swords, like, there's this strong masculine energy as well. But that's for another day. I'm thinking of doing a how will your kids view you, what the relationship will be type of thing later. And we'll get to that. But this is just their personality, like a little brief. And that went on kind of longer. Like, the cards ended up saying more than last pile, so I'm not gonna pull supernatural for this. I'm just gonna leave it at this. I feel like a lot came out, and it just feels like a complete message. Yeah. So thank you, pile 2, for being here. If you enjoyed this reading, even a sliver of an amount, I hope that you will stick around, and I hope that you'll subscribe and like if you liked it. Only like if you liked it. Yeah. I don't know why I said that like that, but yeah. Let's move on to pile 3. So if you chose pile 3 with this Page of Cups, this will be your reading. Let's see where do we go now? Alright. I like starting with the Cat Tarot and pile 2, so that's what I'm gonna do again. I think it starts off with like their younger years, so it starts off on a light note. Tell me about pile 2's child spirit. What will their child be like? What will pile 2's child be like? What will pile 2's child be like? Pentacles just keep coming out, but I swear this economy is just going to the ground. I feel bad for our children. We thought we grew up in a terrible economy. I think our kids might have it a little bit worse than us. You could have watched pile 2. I'm getting kind of like a similar energy. I'll show these dice. Tell me about pile 2's child spirit. Tell me about pile 2's child. Okay, so we have Aries, Mercury in the 5th house. Let's see where this takes us. 1 second. I gotta do this. Alright, I refuse to pause the video and have to connect all them videos. I hate that. So, sorry about that. Tell me about pile 3's child. I'm telling you, this 5 of Pentacles keeps coming out. The economy is crashing. Okay, so we're getting boy again. We have 7 of Wands. I'm almost getting like a Taurus energy. This is a very diverse individual. They are like, they could have a very mixed chart, like mixed elements, Like they have a little bit of everything. But this is a person very multifaceted, very full person. Like if they were a plate, their plate would be full with lots of different color foods, different flavors. It's giving Leo man, Leo boy, fire sign boy. There's this like innocent, impulsive, stubborn, creative, performative vibe. All those things put together is your child. This child as a child could always be getting into something, like, and they could fixate, like, for a little while they could be like obsessed with this one toy, and they just focus on that one toy until they're bored with it, and then they move on to this other toy, and that toy is all they want to play with for a while. It's like they, like, you have, like, I almost see you having like a bunch, like a whole toy box full of toys, and they just fixate on one toy at a time. Like they'll have a favorite toy that they keep around until they get tired of it, and they move on to the other toy. 555 could be significant for you. This child could be very energetic when they're small. They could be very wild. You might have to keep a close eye on them. They could be like getting their hands into a bunch of different things. You're gonna have to childproof really well your house. This is definitely the type of child to play with their food, but also love food. This child's gonna love eating, which is like saying they love breathing, but it's true. It's here. They're gonna really like snacking, playing with their food, playing with their toys. They could have like a specific snack when they're younger that they really like and kind of fixate on. I'm almost getting this Taurus energy from them of like this stubbornness, like this kind of set in their waysness. Like they're very like, they're very free spirited, but at the same time they're very like one track mind. Like for example, I don't know, I'm getting heavy Taurus, and Taurus didn't come out, but I'm just getting that Aries Taurus. They could be tropical Taurus, sidereal Aries, or they could have like, they could be a early degree Taurus or a late degree Aries. Yeah, let's keep pulling. And they could also be very close with their mother. You, or if you're a father, then they could be close with your partner or their mother, whether it be your partner or not. So let's pull some more, see what else we get. This child could also like kind of talk your ear off sometimes. Like they could just like, oh my god, mom, I was at school and then the teacher, she brought to school her pet lizard, and then like, I don't know, they just like, and then you're like, oh wow, buddy, that's so cool. Then what happened? He's like, and then like, he's one of those kids where he's like, and then and then this happened, and then like, I don't know, just like kind of like, it's giving me that vibe. They could be kind of like a really passionate speaker. Like they could kind of say stuff that really like you really get a kick out of sometimes. They could even make like other people laugh sometimes. Like I almost see you being in the store and you're having a conversation with him, and then like an old lady overhears your conversation, or someone overhears your conversation and they laugh about it or something like that. Like even strangers get a kick out of this kid and the things that they say sometimes. They're gonna have some kind of like craft or something that they're good at, like something that they do with their hands. They're gonna have something that they're really good at. It could be art. I was getting that earlier a little bit. It could be art. It could even be like music. It could be anything. They could even get into construction. They could be an architect. It could be anything. It's gonna be different for every person. But they have such a creative mind, and not only do they have such a colorful inner world, but they are able to kind of bring that into the physical and create things. I think this child would have no issue making money. They have no issue making money. They know the language of money almost as if they were born knowing it. And when they get older, this is gonna be fine-tuned. They are gonna be very it's like literally the adult version of everything I said before. Like they're gonna be very, it's more serious. I mean, obviously, but they're gonna be a much more serious adult. Like they could be much, I mean, I feel like this is so obvious. They're gonna be much more innocent as a child, and then when they become an adult, they just have this seriousness about them. I don't know. Like obviously that's true for everyone, but with them it's like potent. It could kind of make you like really proud of them. I'm getting, they could end up being like a CEO of a company, or like really like over a lot of people. It's giving boss baby, except they're not a baby no more. It's giving boss. And very important, it's giving like, yes, we have 3 major arcana for when they get older. They're gonna be a very important person. And then we have King of Pentacles again on the back. This child is gonna be very financially successful and abundant in the physical world. They could start their own business or end up working really high up in a business, a big business. But they're gonna be really successful when they get older. Congratulations, Pile 3. You might even have a hard time, like you're gonna look at them when they're older and be like, I can't believe this is that same little boy that used to come to me after school and be like, Mom, this happened and that happened. Like, oh, that's so cute. They're gonna undergo either a big transformation in their life or multiple big transformations. And I feel like they're gonna be like, because I'm getting boy energy for this, and when they grow up I feel like they're gonna be one of those men that invest in like stocks and like all that. Like they have money everywhere, all kinds of investments left and right, like businessman. It's giving businessman. Like I'm literally getting like imagery of different like financial tactics they do and pursuits they take. Like they're gonna be very focused. Okay, that was loudest. Talk about unnecessary, bro. kind of makes me wonder if y'all's son is going to have like one of those phases and be like, when maybe in their teenage years have like a little car phase where they think loud cars are freaking cool, and they make their, my boyfriend had a phase like that where he made his car super loud, and you know men, they go through that. Some girls too, you know. But that's really all I'm getting for you guys. This message feels complete. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'm gonna try and post more consistently. I just need to find topics that like I find energizing. Like this, I love these kinds of pick a cards. So if you would like me to make more like this, please do tell me. Or if you have an idea of like some other reading you want me to do, I would love an idea. One thing about me is I love an idea. A good idea. Not bad ones. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you next time.